So again, I suppose why record in a digital format, right? So it offers a number of advantages. One, it's easy to store during the year and on the phone. So if you've got an electronic recording system, it's something that's recorded on your computer. It can be on your phone. It's not in a paper format. It's not in a diary. Ultimately, a diary can go missing or can get lost. Where you've got something recorded electronically, it's far easier to retain and more accessible. It's easier to retrieve records down the road, let it be in 5 years' time. Again, if you've got it recorded on a computer or a phone, it's more accessible. It's easier to go back and find it. Again, something in paper format inside of a number of years can easily be put aside, binned, or even lost. It's easier to read. So for someone like myself, if you're getting records of somebody, and some people's handwriting can be nicer than others, so a set of records done in digital format can be an awful lot more easier to read and interpret. And again, you can put in entries for fields on a crop basis. So if you're entering the details for one given field, it's actually and if it's a crop of winter wheat, and if you've got alternative crops of winter wheat, it's actually quite easy just to copy and paste the details. So it's an awful lot easier to record information as well, and doesn't take as much time. You'll also get an immediate calculation of rates and costs. So once you put in a given input, right, the computer will actually do the work for you then thereafter. There's no need to pull out a calculator and start doing the sums yourself, right? And it can collate to spot trends across the farm over years as well. So I suppose what's meant by that is that once you've got a set of electronic records, suppose if you go back and study your records, if you're to look at how a given crop is performed in comparison to another, you can see trends over years, right? So you can see how profitable a given crop may have been in comparison to others. And obviously that's important to know, and it'll have a significant bearing on the decisions that you'll make for your business going forward. So what is the Teagasc Ecrops? So it's a Microsoft Excel based program. It could be accessed, as Phelim said, via your laptop, tablet, and at this point in time, it can actually be accessed via your phone. You could record up to 40 fields in a given year. So again, don't necessarily have to be fields; it can be blocks of land either. You can track all inputs for field or per block, so including the likes of seed, fertilizer, herbicides, fungicides, trace elements, and you'll get a breakdown of what your costs are for a given crop. In this, I suppose, giving an example, like wheat, so what you spent on herbicides or fungicides on wheat. And I suppose that enables you to compare yourself to others as well and benchmark yourselves off others, which is hugely important as well. It calculates costs per input as well, so it gives you a breakdown of what you spent on each individual input. It'll give you a running total of costs as well, so what your total expenditure on inputs were for a given crop. It can project margins as well, so you can project what you're going to actually make off a given crop. And it'll give gross margins on a field or per block basis as well. And again, I suppose it's from your perspective as well, which is hugely important, is compliant with the likes of IGAS, and for cross compliance records as well. So again, I suppose like where Ecrops may not be suitable. So Ecrops itself may not be suitable for all people, but will be suitable for the vast majority of people. So again, Ecrops is a basic Excel program, but it does have some limitations. And I suppose the advantage of it is that it is simple, and for that reason, it's simple to follow and use as well. So individuals that where Ecrops may not be suitable for their use should consider alternative programs such as FarmGate. But I suppose where it won't suit is where individuals have more than 40 fields or 40 blocks of land. Again, those individuals will be limited enough. Where you're looking for complex reporting from the system as well itself as well, Ecrops may not do what you require. So where you're looking to keep a stock of inputs as well, so stocks of, let it be fungicides, or what's in store, your chemical store, it doesn't have the ability to record that on an ongoing basis for you. It can't be integrated with yield maps either. There will be some systems that can actually have the facility to do that. And it can't be used where you want to allocate jobs or assign jobs to staff members or people that work on the farm. And also, if in some systems as well, will have the ability where your advisor or your agronomist can actually forward you on recommendations for given crops. It doesn't have the ability to do that. So again, in some cases, in a limited amount of cases, it may not suit you, but in my view, in a vast majority of cases, it actually will. So without any further ado, I'll hand over to Michael Hennessy, and Michael will go through the details of how to download eCrops and install on your phone thereafter.
That's great, John. Thank you very much. So yeah, I'm going to do a little bit around, I suppose, look, the requirements that you need from an IT perspective first, and then also how you download it and how you kind of get it onto your computer. So, um, hopefully we can see that coming up there now. Okay, you see that coming up. Okay, all right. Okay, so what do we need? I suppose, look, it's fairly straightforward in terms of what you need. Basically, the eCrops is going to be able to work on pretty much all electronic devices that you have there. If you want to use it in your home computer, so that could be a desktop or a laptop, and you want to use it within the Microsoft world, so it is based, as John said earlier, it's based on Microsoft Excel. If you have Excel already on your computer, it'll work away on that desktop and it'll run away fine in your home office to do that. If you want to run it on your mobile phone through Microsoft, you do have to have a subscription to the Microsoft 365, which essentially allows the file to be stored in the cloud, and that then allows it to communicate to your office, but also to communicate out to your phone because you can put Excel on phone. And I'll show you how to do that in a little while. So that's one side of it, or the other side of it, you can get the Excel and convert that into the Google house, if you like. And in order to do that, you're going to have a Gmail account. Most people probably have that, and that allows you then to tack on the Google Docs and Google Sheets. And these particular services essentially are all free. So, where to start from? So it can be downloaded. I'm going to show you this in a second. It can be downloaded from the Teagasc website at that address there. So we would suggest that you download it from there, file and save your file and rename that then as a base for the future. Like I say, you can work away on that in Excel on your computer if you have Excel on your computer. But if you don't have that on your computer or on your tablet, well, then you can go for Google Drive and upload it onto Google Sheets, and it'll work away on that. I'm going to switch a little bit here now just to show you how to upload it and where to start from. So I think I might be still sharing. So the first thing you need to do is you need to open up your Google Internet Explorer. So this is just google.com. And from there, just type in Teagasc crop recording and hit return on that, and that's going to bring up the very first one on the very top there is going
That,
to bring up
that's
Teagasc
not
crop
showing there,
recording.
Michael, now.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Apologies. I'm going to go back there again. Thanks for telling me. I'm going to stop that, and I have to share this going back again. Apologies now. I thought it was going to flick from one to the other. So, right. Okay. Share this. Now, that you can see that, can you? See it, Google?
Yeah, I see that, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, like I say, I'm going to go down I'm going down to your Internet Explorer. I happen to have Chrome on my computer. So I just open up that onto google.com. And from here, I'm just going to type in Teagasc and do it again, crop recording, and press return on that. The very first one that comes up here is the crop recording from Teagasc, certainly on my computer at least anyways. When you click into that, you're going to go down a little bit there and you're going to see very quickly there, download eCrops program below. And that's this particular file here. So it's Teagasc Ecrops recording program version 5.3. That's the most recent one we have. Occasionally we update that if there's some mistakes or some errors kind of come in or bugs come into it. I suppose the one thing to mention about this is these are essentially all standalone programs. You can download a new program from us each time, but it's not like lots of the cloud services where if we made a bit of a change in the background, everybody's program change. If you download this, this is kind of pretty much the one that you're going to have. So so when you come down here, you can this will highlight for itself. So you click on that, and you'll see that it will start to download up here. There's a little download button up here, so it's starting to download in here. You can see it in here, so it's actually downloaded in here. So that's after downloading into a file on my computer called downloads. So I know that's in there now, so that's grand. I have it downloaded to my computer. Okay, so the next thing then that I need to do is, as we mentioned before, the starting point, if you want to use the Google or if you want to use the Ecrops and you have Excel on it, double click into this. I'll show you here now. It'll open up Microsoft Excel that I have on my computer. It'll open it up almost directly in it. It just takes a little bit. It's a kind of a big file enough. It opens up into it, and there's a little button up here at the top. You have to press Enable Editing, and once that's done, there you can work away and start doing the whole thing from there. Okay. So I'm not going to go through Excel. If you don't have Excel on it, I'm just going to close that down. If you don't have Excel on your computer, again, this is downloaded on my computer. The next step to get it into the Google platform is, we mentioned earlier that you need to sign up for a Gmail account. So that's an email address. If you already have one, then just log into Google and to the Gmail. This is one I have here. Up in the very corner up here, there's 9 dots here beside your name. Click into that, and you'll see down here there's a thing called Drive. That's essentially where all the folders are. All the files will be kept in a folder. Click into that. Once you're in there, it's very simple that you kind of just think of. It's basically you press New across over here in the corner, and you're going to upload a file. So File Upload. So if you click into that, as I said to you, on my internet or on my computer, anything that's downloaded from the internet comes in here into Downloads. And you can see up here, this is the one I downloaded just a minute ago, which is the Teagasc Ecrops nitrates. So that's in here. So click into that and press Open. So that will upload itself. So you can see down here, it's uploaded in here. I'm just going to, I could open it from there, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to refresh the page here. So you'll see it actually comes in up here. So this is the Google, this is our Ecrops coming in here. That's now in on the Google platform. If I double click into this, it'll open up for me. So it's going to take a little bit of time for it to convert from the Microsoft back into the Google Sheets point of view. So now basically we have it in here, and we have the full Ecrops in here. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing from there because that's enough kind of IT skills just for the second, and I'm going to hand you back to Phelim. Phelim, you're just going to, I suppose, give people a bit of a tour on what is in the Ecrops program. We can see that fine, Phelim.
Sorry, Michael, I was muted. You can see that fine?
We can see it fine, yep.
So this is the Ecrops program that Michael has downloaded, and he saved it either to his computer on Excel, or he's put it into his Gmail account under Sheets. It operates under both. I have it here on Excel on my PC. So what I want to do is just give you an overview of it and show you how to get recording, because that's where we are now. We've got it from the link that you found in Google. You Googled it, downloaded it, put it onto your computer, and now how do we actually operate it? So this is the front page. You look down here at the bottom, there's a number of what we call tabs. There's an instructions tab, a name tab, an example field tab, fertilizers, field name 1, 2, 3, etc. These are the tabs, and I want to go through a couple of those with you. The instructions tab is the first one there, and it just a few basic instructions. If you read it yourselves, you can see that all sheets can be changed to suit a farmer's needs. And what we mean by that is that you can come over to this field name here, and you can click on it. And when we click on it, up comes all the details that we can put into a field. But it's just field name number one. It doesn't mean anything. So what you can do is double click on that little tab there. If I double click, it turns black. When it turns black, I can put in winter wheat and click out of it. And now that's my winter wheat tab. I may also have another field here, could also have winter wheat in it, could have anything in it. It could be the well field. Well field, click out of that. Now I have renamed that. Okay, and you go on ad infinitum almost. You've got 30, 40 fields along here. So we can go on all the way across there, field 8, all the way up to field 40. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back to the instructions here and continue. Each sheet should represent a field or fields with the same crop, treated in the same way. So I've got my winter wheat crops here, which contains all my winter wheat that will be treated in a particular way. I may have a field here with, it could be winter wheat as well, but I'm suspecting that maybe is not going to be treated in the same way. It may get a T0, or it might be the only one that's not going to get a T0. Or it could be winter barley, and this one over here could be spring barley, and this could be oilseed rape, whatever else you want. So each sheet should represent a field or a group of fields treated in the same way. The cells shaded out are calculations, and they shouldn't be overwritten. So when I go into my tabs, you'll see all the white fields here. I can click into them, and there's a little border around them. But the shaded out fields here, I can't click into them because there's a calculation going to happen there that I can't influence. I influence it by putting the figures in before it. The only one that's a little bit different is fertilizer here. So in fertilizer, I can click into these green ones, not these ones here, and I can click into these green ones. So other than the fertilizer, it's only the white cells that you populate with your own figures. Okay, come back to my instructions. To change the name of a sheet, well, I've done that. You double click on the tab and you type in the field name or the crop name. For calculations to work in each of these tabs, the following must be filled in: the field area, the current crop, and the input type. So if I'm going to look at my winter wheat, we have a number of details up here in this yellow part, the white parts that we're going to fill in. We have a big body down here with lots of white areas that can be filled in, and we have a bit more down here that can be filled in. This part up here, you can put in your field names. This winter wheat could be the hill field, the cross field, the lawn field, whatever it is. You can write them in if you wish. You can put in the LPIS numbers here if you wish. But the critical one to put in is the sown area of all these fields, or one field, whichever it is. So if I put in 25 acres here, it converts it to hectares there for me, and it knows now how big an area that we're dealing with. We can come on down further and look at the crop in the current year, and the crop has a little arrow here when you click into it, and that's a drop-down box. So you click that drop-down box, and there you've got a list of crops. So I'm going to put winter wheat in here. And the variety, no drop-down box. So I'm going to put in a variety of winter wheat there. Sowing date, I can put in the sowing date because these crops are all in the fields at the moment. So we'll say the 10th of October. And the sowing rate, whatever you sowed it at, 175 kgs per hectare. You can put in the previous crops here. If it was another drop-down box there, if it was winter oats, you can put in winter oats. If it was oilseed rape, you can put in beans. You can put in whatever you want. And you can give the 3 previous crops as well. So you can populate those white areas. And this is just basic information setting up this particular field or group of fields. We haven't got to harvest date or delivery or tons delivered yet. We can also come up here and put in our P&K results. So 8.1 and 122 and trace elements if you have them. You can put in the pH if you want. And you can put in little comments there saying that it got lime last autumn. The testing year was 2025, and you can put in a comment there, it got lime last autumn. And these are all things that will come back to your mind when you're examining your figures. Over on this side, you can put in, you can just, for your own information, put in problem weeds, that may be on the field. That's all optional. The critical thing then is your inputs. So we have a date, a growth stage, and they form normal part of your record keeping. So on the 10th of the 10th, at growth stage 0, another drop-down box here under input type, and it was seed. Okay, and we know FIT-ZROY. And the rate of seed that we put in per hectare here is 175 kgs, we'll say. And the unit cost is, say, 760. Now, that's an astoundingly big cost per acre. And the reason why is our unit cost is euros per ton, 760 euros a ton for the seed. But our rate isn't in the same units. It's in kilograms per hectare. So we want tons per acre. So your 175 kilos per hectare is 0.175 of a ton per hectare. That's how we write the 175. And now we have our cost per acre of that seed. Okay. And you'll put in your PCS numbers or any other comments that are needed by you along here. As the need arises. There's probably no need with the seed. The next input type that we had in this example, these are only examples, we had a herbicide going in. It was diflannel, 0.25, and that is litres per hectare. And we want a unit cost then to match that in terms of the euros per litre. So I'm not sure what you're paying, but we'll put in 80 euros, and that's costing 8 euros. And then we have a partner there and another herbicide. Okay. For you, again, I'm not sure the figures you put on your own figures, but as you can see, as you populate all your inputs, and that might be all we've done. We may have an aphicide, so we can put in an insecticide there. And again, we want the rate per hectare in litres. So normally it'd be maybe 50 millilitres. 50 millilitres is 0.05 of a litre. Okay, and we'll put in a price per litre there. So as you go down, that's what you do. You can put in your growth stages here as well. You can put in your dates as well if you want. There's quick ways of doing this. For instance, if you have 11th of November there, you can just hover over the little box there, click on it and hold that click and pull it down, and you'll get, you'll get an addition 12. So we'll have to put that back to the 11th of the 11th and the 11th of the 11th. Okay, so you continue on with that for your inputs. The fertilizer, as I say, excuse me, is down here in the green area. So again, you'll put in your date and your growth stage, your product name. Then when you click into that, now you're getting a drop-down box with various fertilizers in it. We didn't put drop-down boxes here for herbicides, insecticides, etc. We are not linked to PCRD. So it's just something that can't be done on this type of non-connected uh, program. So you type in that, whereas with the fertilizer, you can select. So we put in our 10, 10, 20. The rate is in tons per hectare. Very often when you're setting your fertilizer spreader, you'll set it for 300 kgs of product per hectare or 400 kgs. We want it in tons. So it's a bit like this one up here with the seed. We're going to be costing this at a per ton basis. So instead of 400 kgs, what we put is 0.40 or 0.4. And then we put in the cost of the fertilizer, and that gives us 90 euros an acre or 224 per hectare for that 10, 10, 20. And as you go along then, when you spread your can, your first split of nitrogen, and you put on another 0.4, this time it's 415, whatever it is, 67 euros. And you continue on then, and you can put your dates. Those dates will likely be in the future, hopefully the near future. Now, as we put in these fertilizers, just over on the left-hand side here, you can see that it's recording the products used, 10, 10, 20 and 27% nitrogen so far. so far. And if I was to put in something else, muriate of potash, we'll say, now there's 50% K gone in there. I can get rid of that by just pressing the delete button on my keyboard, and it's gone. And I can continue on with splits then as required. Also then, I suppose, look at, you can go further, you can come up here, or you can go further down here, and you can click into fungicides. When you start applying your fungicides, you can click into your, excuse me, your growth regulators, your trace elements. They might go on along here somewhere as well. The critical thing is you have to tell the program what you are putting in, okay? Whether it's a trace element or a fungicide or a growth regulator or a fertilizer or herbicide or whatever it is. Just categorize it like that. And then you'll put in your, for a fungicide, it might be Revistar. And your rate was a lowest rate, 1.3. And the cost, something like 60. And that's 78 euros a hectare. You'll have partner fungicide there, so you can go with your other fungicide there. I'm not going to go through them all, but this is the way that we, on a daily basis or a weekly or whenever you come and put out your fertilizer, your first split of compound, you can just put in that line. And when you do your first split of nitrogen, do that line. And when the T0 comes, it won't be Revistar, but you can put in your sulfur thiopron, whatever it is, or your QOL, whatever it is that you're putting in. And you have loads there to put in. And we know it's an expensive crop. And what you can do then, as you look down here, you'll see the total variable costs. And that first blue line is per acre. If you look up here, that's per acre. And the right-hand one is per hectare. So the variable costs here are 258 per hectare, 600 per acre so far. I've skimped an awful lot on this. So it really is, it's giving you a running total. And if you want to propose that you're going to put on some biostimulants or anything else, you can put that in there, put it in as other, name it, give it a rate, and give it a cost. And you can then come down here and see how that is affecting your total variable costs. At the end of the day, what you do want is a margin. So I'm coming down here and I'm going to say, look, at when the harvest occurs, we're getting 100 tons out of that group of fields. Our price is 190, hopefully, maybe it's more than that. And that's going to give us our grain sales here of 760 euros per acre, 1,877. We need to add straw. I suppose that'll start at, again, this is the left-hand column, so it's per acre, €100 per acre. If you're baling it and selling it bales out of the field, it'll be more, but there will be cost to that. So our total variable costs so far are only coming up to 258 because I've only got half them in. Our grain sales are there all right. Our straw is there. Machinery is at zero. So what we can do very briefly is we can come down here and we can put in a calculated machinery cost per acre. And what we're encouraging you to do is get your correct figures. There is another little calculator that we can use to get those correct machinery figures. Rather than use a guesstimate or an estimate, rather than use contractor prices. Because they are not yours. All of these other costs up here are yours. What was applied to the crop, what that crop cost. There's no point in sort of confounding it now with a spurious figure here. So this farmer has put in 166 per acre. That's what he came up with. And that then will come in here. Land rental, again, that's in a white cell. So we can put in, if there is land rental involved, we can put in that there, and we'll soon see what the gross margin is. Without half our costs there, it's €135 an acre. If there's no cost to those fields, we can just delete it. Okay, so that's the way that we add our inputs. What I should have said also is up here we have a little square floppy disk, which is what we used to use to save all our details. That's a save button. So all you need to do now to save all that is press that, and it will save what you have entered. Okay, so you can X out of it as close it down if you wish, come back to it again tomorrow or next week and add to it then. It also gives you a running total over here of your nitrogen. I only had 148 units and 40 of nitrogen and 40 and 80 of P and K. John had mentioned that there was a collation of all these results, and there is way over at the very end here. I won't go over to it now because I suppose it's something that we could look at maybe at a later date when all those records are in. But if we want to get you actually recording, then you need to name your tabs, put in the crop, put in the acres, and put in your inputs, and start costing them out and getting your costs here. The tons produced, etc. That's not going to occur, I suppose, until August, and we'll be able to see exactly what it turns out at there. So, Michael, I think that's a brief enough run through, and it doesn't give all the functionality, but it's enough certainly to get people started. Once they have it downloaded, saved, you can start away and start recording tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks, Phelim. Yeah, and look, what you're doing, Phelim, is you're looking at the Excel version of what we have, and that can be on your computer if you have Excel. I'm going to show you in a second how to put it up onto Google if you don't have Excel, but essentially the functionality is pretty much the same. It looks the same, it feels the same, and there's one or two small things that are in it, but generally speaking, if you fill in the white boxes, you're going to be pretty good. So, Philip, I might just get you to stop sharing for a second. Just one fundamental thing I just want to hit back on there for a minute, and that's really around just to make it clear to everybody in terms of the different I suppose functionality. So we had the Ecrops. If we can see this, you can, Philip.
Yes, Michael.
Yeah, great. Yeah. So we have the Ecrops that's on our website, and you can put that into either one bucket or another bucket. They don't really mix necessarily. It can either go and stay in the Microsoft house if you like, and it'll work away perfectly in that, or the Google house. It doesn't mix. If you start off in Microsoft, you can't bring over that information terribly well to Google and mix and match. So from a Microsoft point of view, you're dealing with Excel. It goes onto your desktop or laptop, as we said before. And if you have Microsoft 365, you can additionally add a laptop or a phone, or on your phone or laptop out in the field, or even in a tablet indeed. And that then will connect back into your desktop, laptop along the way. So basically, it's all the one functionality. You can get the same file on multiple different devices if you have Microsoft 365. Similarly, on the other side, then, and this is you're kind of starting from a different point, and you're kind of filling it in and going to continue to fill it in on Google. As I said, you need to have the Gmail. That allows you then to download and log into both Google Drive and Google Sheets. So Google Drive is where you hold the file, and Google Sheets is how you manipulate the file. Once you're working away in Google Sheets, no matter whether you look at it on the desktop or laptop, which is essentially looking at it on Internet Explorer, or you download an app, download the Google Drive and the Google Sheets app on either your tablet or your iPhone, that same file can be looked at basically on your phone or on the laptop or on your desktop, and it'll all be the one file you can look at. So if you make an entry on your phone and you come back in later on and you want to edit it on your desktop or laptop inside, you'll open it up and you'll see the figures that you put in a few hours before or a few weeks before, and you can change them on your laptop inside. That's the beauty of, I suppose, some parts of the Google side of the house. So they're two different entities, so just as long as everybody kind of understands that reasonably well. What I want to show you now is, for those of you who have a mobile phone, I'm going to show you how to use Ecrops on a mobile phone. I'm going to play this now. 1 second, I'm just going to go back just for 1 second because I mightn't have pressed the right button. I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second. If you just bear with me for a second, just want to make sure I have share sound on, and I'm going to start sharing. And okay, this should come up here now. Okay, Phelim, you might let me know if you can hear the sound coming from this.
Okay,
that's good, Michael.
Working from an iPhone on the Apple iOS system for the purposes of this video. However, it will be quite similar on the Google platform, so it's a quite similar kind of a process. So as we mentioned already in this webinar, if you want to use the Ecrops, as it is a Microsoft Excel type program, and you have the Microsoft 365 package, which will allow you then to use your Excel or an Excel app on your mobile phone directly. So there's no conversion. Tap into Excel and it should open that up for you, very straightforward. If you don't have Excel, you can convert the Ecrops from Microsoft platform into a Google platform. And in order to do this, you're going to need three things. You're going to need the core account of a Gmail account, which is will create, or if you have already a Gmail email address, and that'll allow you then to download and log into Drive, and also download and log into Google Sheets. There are the three kind of things that you want. Okay. So from here, the best thing to do is to see, well, how do I download these apps? So very quickly on that, on the iPhone system, we come up to the App Store, and within the App Store here, then we can tap in and look for the various different apps. The first one I'm going to look for is Gmail. So tap in Gmail, and that should bring up, and again, that's going to bring up your Gmail here. So that's the icon you're looking for. On mine it says open, but on yours, if you don't have it already, it will say download. You download that directly from there. If you already have a Gmail account, log into that Gmail account, or if you don't have a Gmail account, it's free to set up a new one, so just go through the steps and set up a new one. Okay, the other thing that you're going to need is Google Drive, and this is where files are stored. And we'll get that to look for that. So again, you look for this icon, Google Drive, it'll say download, and away you go. Log into that and you will have that up and running on your phone. And the other one you want is Google Sheets. And again, it's going to bring up Google Sheets very quickly. Here you go. Look for that icon that's in here. Download it and away you go. Again, like all these things on a mobile phone, make sure you write down the password, key password for your Gmail account, because that's going to get everything else in. The last one, just to show you, just tap in Microsoft Excel, and that will bring you up the Microsoft Excel up here that you can download and put into the system. Okay, so from there, the next step then is if we're going to use the Google platform, I'll show you how to download the Ecrops for that. So for me, I'm going to go into the Internet Explorer. I'm using Chrome, and from there, I'm going to search for Teagasc crop recording. I already have it there already. Very first one you meet is the Teagasc crop recording. Tap into that. Down a little further down here, you're going to come along with that's where you get the program, version 5.3 here on this one at the moment. So tap into that. That is going to download. What you can see it, but essentially it's a reader rather than a workbook you can do anything with. So essentially you're going to have to, then here you're going to have to save the program. So on my phone, because I already have Drive on my phone and logged into Drive, it actually shows up, this is where I can save it to Drive. And that's where I want to save it if I want to go into the Google setup. So I'm going to touch Save. You can see here it's downloading reasonably quickly. And once it's downloaded, it's going to ask you to open from there. You don't want to open from there because it'll look exactly the same as this up here, which is essentially a viewer rather than a workbook you can do anything with. So I would suggest you pop out of there, look for your Sheets icon, Sheets app, tap into that, and you can see up there it's after updating for me. I have Teagasc Ecrops, the very first thing right at the very top. I'm going to tap into that. It takes a little bit of time for the program to load because it's actually converting a Microsoft type program into a Google program. So because of that, you lose a small little bit of functionality, but essentially it'll work for the most part. So make this a little bit smaller. So you can see down here we have all of the names. So if you scroll along the bottom down here, you can see there's an example field, and you get into the field names. So this is where you will start entering your data. It takes a little bit to load the first time round. It's pretty quick after that, but it's essentially converting everything. So with that, you can see, as was demonstrated earlier, it looks exactly the same as Excel. You start putting in your field name, your field area, the type of crop you're putting in, and then put in all the various different inputs in along here. So that's how you get started. That'll be in there. You can access that from your PC by logging into Google Drive on your PC, and it'll be the same file from one side or the other side. Okay.
Okay, Phelim. So look,
Okay,
that's
I'm going to be working from a
okay, Phelim. So I think that's that's how you do it on a phone. As I say, it's very similar whether it's an iPhone or an Android phone. It'll be a similar type of process to download the file and put it in there. So yep, Phelim, that's me.
Yep. Okay. Just the last thing that I wanted to say is that we hope you do try this. We have it recorded, and we'll put up that recording in the morning, I hope. And we hope that you'll be able to download onto your chosen application, whether it be the Microsoft Excel or the Google Sheets, and that you start recording. And to that effect, on this Friday, we are going to have two. Sorry, I've got. We're going to have two clinics, drop-in clinics. One is in Enniscorthy on Friday morning from 10 o'clock until 12:30. Enniscorthy office in Teagasc. Friday, 10 o'clock till 12:30. Drop in, and we'll try and do a bit of putting out fires, giving a little bit of help with inputting, and if you're completely stuck altogether, come on in as well. But do try to do it yourself. Friday afternoon we'll be in Oak Park from 2 o'clock until 4:30. And they're the two drop-in clinics, so you can choose which one you want to go to. So I think that's more or less it, Michael. We do encourage you to go ahead and work away at that. Use the drop-in clinic if you want, and oh yes, there's that. Sorry, and start recording. Try it out. We think it works quite well. It's very efficient. It's not the bee's knees. It doesn't do everything, but it does most things that most farmers want. So happy recording, and we might see you on Friday, I think. Okay, we'll end it at that.
Okay, thanks very much, Phelim. So look, if there's any questions, I suppose, if anybody has anything straight away, we can take a few questions here. Shay, you're looking after the questions kind of on your side of the house.
Yeah, I was just looking at Michael here. Just one or two quick questions, I suppose. It's a drop-in clinic on Friday, so people don't have to book or anything like that. They can just show up. I suppose that's the point. That's one question. The videos, where are we going to put the videos? Where will people find the instruction videos? So they'll probably be on our Teagasc Ecrops YouTube channel. It's probably the handiest place to put them.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And
So
we can we'll throw out a link then to everybody to everybody on WhatsApp and that kind of thing, just so everyone knows where they are.
Yeah, so there's two. It was on the slide there. What do people need to bring with them on Friday? So, Phil, you might throw that up again there. What people can bring on Friday. Sorry, if anybody else wants ask a question, there's a chat function at the bottom of your screen. Just click on that chat button and type in a quick question if you want.
Or alternatively, unmute yourself and just ask it straight up.
Yeah.
We are very conscious that we're fairly used to using computers on a day-to-day basis, and maybe a lot of you aren't so much. But so if you have a fairly basic question, that's okay. If you were thinking about it, chances are somebody else's as well. So feel free.
Lads, just one simple quick question there. I was just looking at your fertilizer application there. So you have NP and K. If you're using a product, say, with sulfur or boron or anything else in it, is there a facility to record more than that?
Oh, there's not a facility to record more than the NP and K, but there is a facility to put in your own specification of fertilizer. So if you have 10, 8, 20,
8,5,18 plus S or something, or plus boron or something.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
So you can add in your own fertilizer, blend and use that. Then it'll come up on the drop down menu. Just on the left hand side of the screen, there's an add fertilizer button, and that brings you to the place where you'll just put in the name of your fertilizer, My Blend 1, or whatever it is, and put in the percentage N, P, and K. But it doesn't deal with any other any other nutrient other than N, P, and K.
Thank you.
If you download it on Excel, do you have to keep Excel updated, or once you have it downloaded in Excel, is that it?
Once you have it downloaded, it'll work away fine on it for a long time. Yeah. Now, like I say, the only thing is that if you have the Excel downloaded on your computer and it's only on your, don't really have the facility to be able to share it with your mobile phone so you can do it out in the field. That's the only problem with it. You do have to have the 365 bit, which I was only looking it up before this call. It's about €100 a year. So it's not overly expensive. And if you've tried to
option, really.
Say again?
Sorry, Google Drive is probably the best option, is it?
Google Drive will give you almost all of the other functionality as well, and it's free, which will allow you, like I say, to enter it on your laptop inside, but also same file if you open it up on your phone at any given day of the week, and you can tap it in as you're maybe waiting for the sprayer to fill up or that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And it's not 100% necessary to have it on your phone. I know a lot of farmers who have made the point that when they're finished a job, they want to go in, they want to eat, they want to sit down from it. And just where you're all sitting there now, you can log onto your computer there and do it, an hour later. So the key thing is that it's done that day. You don't have to scribble it into a diary and come back to it next month or 6 months later, or when the harvest is up, or when somebody gets an inspection. The key thing is that you actually use a recording system, and you use it digitally, which adds to the functionality.
Can I just make one other kind of small point? If you have Excel on your computer and you want to work away with the Excel on your computer, and you save the records just to your computer, that's fine. It's great. It'll work really, really, really well. There's one small thing of which we've seen happen over the years. If something happens to that computer and you've no backup of that computer, your records are going to be gone. The beauty of having it saved to a cloud service, whether that's 365 or on Google, is that even if your laptop breaks down in the morning, somebody drives over it or falls in the ground or whatever else happens, or it gets viruses in it and you just can't do anything with it, you'll always have the backup on the cloud. So that's something just to be aware of, that it'll help you in the longer term. Because look, at the end of the day, these files or eCrafts that you're going to put in, hopefully you'll be putting them in for 10, 15, 20 years, and it will be good to look back on them over time. Okay.
Thank you.
So Phelim, just in terms of for people who want to drop into that clinic, we're happy to bring people from the starting point all the way through to kind of get them set up. Or if somebody wants to come in and they're kind of going, well, I'm not sure, can this do this, or can I make it a little bit easier for me to do this or that? We should be able to cover all of the bases, I think, on that. But I just put in there at the bottom, Phelim, that's what should you bring to the clinic, and no point in turning up without your phone or your laptop or whatever you want to use it on. But the other part of it is try and make sure that you have the passwords that work to get into your iPhone, to get into your Android, because they're kind of useful to get into some of the app stores and that kind of thing. But also, if you have Gmail already set up, make sure you bring your password for your Gmail account as well. Makes it easier.
We'll have Wi-Fi here, and I suppose it can be a little bit patchy, but I think it should be okay.
Yep. Okay. Any other questions? Anybody else got anything else? Unmute if you want to throw something out at us. So look, what I would suggest, or Phelim, is it a good idea that people might just maybe tomorrow we'll have this up. People should try and download it and try and play around with it as best they can. You can't break it necessarily. Just try and download it, see if you can work it. If you're running into problems, drop into either Tullow or into Carlow, into Oak Park, or into Enniscorthy, into the Teagasc offices there at those times, and we will do our best to help you out.
Yeah. As the teacher might say, have an attempt made.
Yes. Have the homework done.
We'll try and take it from there.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Thanks
then.
very
I think
much for attending. Yeah.
Yeah. We're all done. All right.
We're at the hour.
Thanks very much, everybody.
Thanks
for calling in. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Phelim and John. Thanks. Bye. You need to stop it, Phelim.